Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us again today. I can't wait to show you what we're going to paint. Today we're learning about Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was an artist that lived in Mexico from 1907 to 1954. She was really well known for using vibrant colors, which were influenced by indigenous cultures of Mexico, and her artwork had European influences like realism, surrealism, and symbolism. But she primarily created still lifes and self-portraits. And a famous quote by her is, "I don't paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality." Very deep. Today's supplies that you will need are paints. We have a cobalt blue, a bright yellow, red, orange, white, and black. We have a jar of water for washing our paintbrushes. We have paintbrushes. We have a pencil. We have canvases, or you can use cardstock or any thick paper. And we have fruit. We looked up Frida Kahlo's artwork on Google and we found some really cool pieces of artwork. So with the help of a parent, you can search for Frida Kahlo and you can search for still life. Today we're going to be working on a fruit-themed still life. Now you could print off her painting and do a still life of her still life, or you can take some fruit from your house and rearrange it into a still life and create a Frida Kahlo inspired still life. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set up our fruit. And we're gonna try to set it up in an interesting way so we can see it from different perspectives. And we're gonna start drawing it out. We wanna start with a ground plane. So we're gonna pick where we want the surface to be. We're gonna draw a really light straight line. And then we're going to start drawing our fruit. I'm going to start with the banana. And then I'm going to draw the apple. We want to draw lightly just in case we have to erase a mistake. And with apples, if you draw sort of a short U in the middle of it, it'll look like that area dips in where the stem comes out. Fun little trick I've learned. Then we're going to add in an orange. And we want these to overlap, so don't necessarily have them all separate. Or if you like to line things up, you can even line them straight up in a line. You can have them in a group like this, close together. I'm just erasing the center line from my fruit as I go along. And if you don't have a lot of fruit in your house, like we didn't, we're short on a lot of fruit right now, so we decided to grab what we have from our house, and the rest we're going to go either from imagination, from her painting, or look it up online. I'm going to add in a piece of watermelon like her painting. That's my favorite fruit.
Mine too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you love watermelon? It's my favorite. So we're going to draw the rind. And some seeds. Don't color anything in right now because we'll be doing that with the paint. This is sort of to give yourself a pattern to go by. And then, I'm going to add in another orange. Feel free to add in a bird if you'd like. And think of some other fruits that you like pears. And think of how you can arrange it interestingly. So put things behind and in front of other things. Do you think you're gonna try to draw a bird?
No.
No? I think I might. If you want to draw the bird, we'll start with the head. And then the body goes almost straight. There's a bit of a curve to it. There's the tail. You'll notice that you can tell what these things are in her painting. I'll show it to you again. There's just something about them that makes them feel like they're not quite real, right? So it's sort of a mixture between realism and surrealism. I'm going to continue drawing my bird. You'll notice that we have two different layouts for our drawings. I have mine more piled and she has hers sort of lined up because she does love to line things up. Sometimes when we line things up, we can feel like there's more order to the world, and that can be a neat way to do your artwork as well. Okay, now that we have our layout sketched out, we're gonna start painting. This is where the fun begins. We're going to get our paintbrushes a little bit wet. And we're gonna start with the background. Be very careful around the edges of your fruit. You may want to use a smaller brush for that. I'm going to use a larger brush for the areas that don't come close to the fruit. And you'll notice in Frida's painting that the blue background is just a solid color. Now that we have the background filled in, we are going to fill in the surface. In her painting, it is sort of a beige color, so we're going with our ivory paint, and later after it dries, we're going to go over it with sort of a yellow wash. It's going to be the lightest in the front and darker as you go back. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to paint it with this ivory beige color, and then we are going to take some dark brown and mix it in right away while it's still wet up here. Now, Frida Kahlo in this painting painted by doing some stippling, so you can feel free to paint like she did. You can do smooth brush strokes if you'd like. So if yours are all arranged straight in a row, you'll want this area to be darker. We'll also add in shadows later for the fruit.
And light on it.
Yes, we're going to add in highlights. Now that we filled in the foreground and the table essentially that the fruit's sitting on, we are going to focus on one fruit at a time to work on. So how about we start with our banana? Depending on your paint and depending on the color, you might have to do multiple layers of a color. For example, yellow is really light, so you'll likely have to do more than one layer of paint. And what colors do we see on bananas?
Usually brownish and greenish on the stem part.
And the body of it is yellow, right? Obviously. So while that yellow paint is still wet, we are going to put a little bit of brown on our brush, just a little bit, and we are going to paint the bottom of the banana. This is to create a shadow. And it looks pretty dark at first, but we are going to blend it together. So you have a stripe right now. So you might have a stripe at first, but you're gonna take a damp brush and start blending it with the yellow that's already there and work your way up lighter and lighter toward the top. If you accidentally went a little too heavy on the brown, you can go back with a paper towel and you can wipe that paint right back up. And then it becomes basically a perfect banana. Looks great, nice job. Okay, so I went in with my very small paintbrush. I took some dark brown and just spotted in some areas for the ends. I'm going to take a little bit of green and I'm gonna add it from the stem and the top of the banana, because I want mine to look like one that's just ripening. I have a very light green?
It's sort of like a lime green.
Yes. There. And once you add your green in and your brown on the tips, you can take a little bit of white with your damp paintbrush and add where you would like to have a light source coming from. So we're gonna go right here. Now if you'd like to add some shadows, you can water down a little bit of brown and you can create some areas that have shadows, like the stem, where the stem meets the banana, and the outer top edge of the banana, you can add some dark brown. And then if you'd like to add lines where the banana peel is, you can do that. Alright, looks awesome. You're doing great. Now we're gonna go on to our next fruit. Let's do an orange. Oranges are a little more simple. So we're gonna just first start with a solid orange color. And if my kit came with a lighter orange, I'd use that. This one's a little too dark for my taste, but I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow in with it to make it look like a true orange color. We'll do this one too. Start stippling on mine to give it that orange peel texture. Now to add in a highlight, I'm going to take some white and stipple that into the top as well. Always make sure your light source is coming from the same location on all of your still life items. It can be a little bit tricky if you don't have a real still life in front of you, so you have to sort of imagine where the light's coming from. How's your orange coming along? Do you have any questions?
No.
No? All right, it's looking good.
Thanks.
Okay, should we start our apples?
Yep.
Okay. And again, we're gonna start with a damp paintbrush, not too damp. Our apple seems to have a little bit of yellow and some pink and red. So how about we start with yellow? And we're going to layer on top of that yellow the pink and red colors. Okay, and while that is still wet, we're gonna take our damp paintbrush and we are going to add in a little bit of pink and a little bit of red. Some of it is speckled and some of it has straight lines going around the apple. If we do straight lines, we're gonna go in the shape of the apple. It's a little bit rounded brush strokes. And to add a highlight to the apple, we're gonna just take some white and again, figure out where that light source is coming from. And we're gonna add some white to that area. Now where the stem comes out, it is darker, so take a little bit of brown, just a tad, because a little paint goes a long way. And you're gonna make it darker in the middle where the stem's coming out. And wash that brush out and spread it. Make sure it's not too wet. Spread it out, but still keep that dark area in the middle. Brown for the stem. We finished the rest of our fruit and we added in some shadows and some highlights on them, just as we explained how to earlier. I'm going to finish up my bird and then I'm going to show you guys how to do some shadows on the bottom of your fruit. If you want to take this a step further to match Frida's surface that the fruit is sitting on, you can take some yellow paint, mix it with a little bit of white to make it lighter, and water. And do a really water it down, and then you're going to do a really thin layer over it. This is called a wash, and it's just to give something a light sense of the color over it. So you'll see quickly how much this really brightens up the painting. And then we're going to take another step further and we're going to take our damp brush with just a little bit of brown on it, really watered down. And we're going to create a shadow, because as you know with shadows, you can see through them. They are not opaque, so you want that to be super thin. And we're just gonna create a bit of a shadow. And I'm doing brush strokes going left to right. We're gonna create a shadow below each fruit. If your light source is coming from the top right, your shadow should go to the left of your object. And even in areas where the fruit is in front of and behind each other, you can add in shadows too to give it the sense that they're overlapping and there is a sense of depth created by the shadows. And as that very last step, you can add in any details you want on your fruit. See, in that area blended in a lot to the watermelon until I put a shadow on the watermelon from the orange. All right, do you want to show them how yours turned out?
Yeah.
Wow, nice job. And here's how mine turned out.
Cool.
Thank you. I had so much fun making this painting and I hope that you guys did too. Don't forget to share pictures of your artwork with us on social media. Tag us with the hashtag WildFreeAndCrafty. And don't forget to share with us other ways that you're being creative and artistic during the course of the week. Do you want to show them what you've made this week? Wow, those are really cool. And you made a dress out of paper. Wow! Very cool. I love the details on it. And it fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So awesome. What did you use to make it?
Markers and paper.
Wow.
And tape.
And tape. This is so cool. Thank you guys so much again for joining us today. I hope you had a lot of fun. Don't forget to join us in a few days for making clay cuties. We'll be doing that next Monday. Tomorrow we are creating neon cupcakes. And Friday we're gonna make planters with clay. All right guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.